And it's 12:36 where Nevada comes to talk. This is our daily special update of COVID-19 response in White Pine County with Ely Mayor Nathan Robertson. And we want to first of all start off by updating a story we had earlier today. It was reported and confirmed by NDOC that an Ely State Prison employee tested positive for COVID-19. However, it appears that that person was not even in, and I'll let you explain
well, there was
all of this.
Thanks. There was a News Channel 3 story, a pretty simple article about there were two employees in the Ely or the Nevada prison system that had tested positive. One of them at the Ely State Prison, and one of them somewhere else. To follow up on this story, I did discuss.
And this was an incomplete story.
It was an incomplete story. I mean, there is an employee of the Ely State Prison that did test positive. However, this employee does not live in our county, was not tested in our county, and by the time they had been tested, they hadn't been at Ely State Prison for 24 days because they had been on leave of some kind. So they weren't ever contagious and in our area, which is good. So they're being counted and taken care of and quarantined in a completely different county than
in
our own.
another county that we're not going to discuss.
Right, and the balancing act that everybody is kind of doing here is let's get the people the information they need, but we don't want to be violating people's privacy or not complying with HIPAA requirements. So just like we've talked before, if someone does test positive, they do an excellent job of following up not only with that person, but interviewing that person to find out who else that person has had contact with and following up with them. We still just have the one case in our county that's been tested and that is residing here in our county.
And we assume that person is quarantining at home.
They are.
Okay.
It's the infant that we had discussed before. They are still, as I understand it, not hospitalized, which is good.
Yes.
They're at home. They're quarantined with their family, and that's what's going on there. And we just need to remember it is a scary and stressful situation for everybody. But losing control of the facts and our perception is never what needs to happen. We need to make sure we're finding out all the information, make sure we're getting the information from reputable sources.
Which is why we do this every day. We don't just do this for our health.
Right. And so while the news story from News Channel 3 is correct, it was incomplete in the information. It is an employee of Ely State Prison. It isn't an employee that resides in Ely or White Pine County.
Okay, so they weren't even in the county for all of this time.
Yeah.
It's got to kind of make you shudder a little bit when you realize that a similarly sized county, although they're almost double our size, Humboldt County, but still a very small county, has 14 COVID-19 cases.
Right, and a lot of those counties where the interstate runs through, and they've got a lot more traffic than we've got.
But we still have 14,000 rolling through here a day, which is a significant count.
It is not as much as goes down I-80 for sure, but a lot of traffic, and the fact that we still have the one case, I think, speaks volumes to how seriously our citizens are taking these recommendations and directives to stay home and to keep.
Yeah, 58 deaths so far in the state from this, and we're not quite sure exactly where, though, they haven't updated the county by county numbers on that, but we believe that most of them are still in either Washoe or most likely Clark.
Yeah, that would make sense. I know Elko had a death.
One death in Elko. That's the only death outside the two major metropolitan areas. So
sure.
We have been extremely fortunate in that case.
We have been, and just the fact that the citizens are taking this as seriously as they are, and that the community is, the businesses, the essential businesses are doing their best to make sure that they're accommodating people's directives to stay home, senior shopping hour, doing deliveries, things like that. I think that's helping a lot.
It's like I never get to the store in the morning. I always have to go late at night.
Sure.
And that's by the time I get to the store, there is nobody there.
Right.
And that's because I'm here till all hours.
Yeah.
But we have been very, very fortunate, and the only way this is going to be solved or resolved is if we stay at home.
Right, and that's the best thing to do. I mean, even with the recommendation of wearing face masks in public, they say the face masks are good. 6 feet is best.
Yes.
Wash your hands, stay 6 feet away, do what you can. Oh, I see you've got one here.
Yes, I have.
You've made one.
No, actually, this
Oh.
is this. It's not a fancy one, and it's
Sure.
probably not the most effective, but it will do its part.
Yeah, it does its job. I mean, these masks the CDC are asking us to wear aren't the N95 masks. They're just some cloth
No.
to kind of keep an extra barrier, an extra layer of protection there for you.
I mean, it gets down to what our grandmothers used to say. It won't hoit.
Right. It won't hurt.
Doesn't hoit.
Yeah. So it's, like we said, we still just have the one case. The state is doing an excellent job of sharing information between the counties. So if someone gets counted somewhere else but lives in another county, that information is getting handed off. I know our county health officer is in contact with the state quite a bit. The state epidemiologist regarding how the numbers are being counted. If there's another case that'll be here in White Pine County but tested elsewhere, we want to make sure we're on top of that, and they're doing a great job of that.
Yeah, I did. In all deference to, we reported the story as it came from NDOC.
Sure.
Which, as we've said, was an incomplete story. Dr. Bion, who is a very busy man, in addition to being a full-time physician,
right.
Is also our county health officer, and he got back to me and said no. Finally, after a couple of exchange of emails, we finally got this story squared away. But it's a story that it had some people worried until we explained what was going on.
Sure, and that's the kind of danger of incomplete or misinformation, is that if you have family that works at the prison and you saw the report, naturally you'd be concerned. And we're just trying to make sure that we stay on top of the information, that we get everybody the best information so they know what their exposure is, and
which is why we do this every day.
Right.
We don't do this just because we like being on the radio. I have bunches of other things to do. I have a national radio show to do. I have our morning show to do. And then, that's why we bring you the President's coronavirus briefing daily in its entirety.
Right.
That's why we brought you the briefing last night from Governor Sisolak in its entirety. Well, up until the feed crapped out. Did it do that for you too?
I didn't get a chance to watch it yet.
The feed dropped while he was taking questions. It just died. And
technology is wonderful.
Well,
isn't it?
when it works.
Yeah.
How did your dry run go yesterday? Did that happen?
We did that this morning.
For the city of Ely will be having their meeting via Zoom,
yep.
And you can get the links at elycity.com. There are also, if you're not internet connected, there is telephone access, so you can listen to the meeting. And I will try to post that. Or could they call to get a phone number?
Yeah, they can call, or if you pull up the agenda, which is on the city website, all the contact information will be on the top.
But the problem is for those people who aren't internet connected.
The phone number is on the top of the agenda. All you need to know the phone number for the City Hall?
No, they could call to get the. They could call City Hall to get the number for the meet. That's
do that.
So if you are not internet connected and want to listen in on the meeting, you can do that. Call City Hall and they will get you squared away. Because all this technology is, we aired the first county commission meeting over Zoom.
Sure.
When they were doing all this, and it wasn't bad at all, except that the county commission didn't have the thing mic'd very well.
Well, and we're hoping to avoid that problem. We did a test run this morning. They're going to be setting things up and testing it throughout the day.
And hopefully miking it a little better.
Miking it and making sure that everybody can hear. And that's the thing. Our meeting will be at the same time and same place. If you don't have to come down, please call the number to participate or participate via your computer.
And we did Zoom here on this old Core 2 Duo. It actually pulled it up without any issue. So if you've got a reasonable internet connection, you can join in on the meeting.
Or even if you don't, you can call, like Wyatt was talking about.
Yeah,
so make sure that you're just availing yourself of those options.
So you can actually participate, and it makes public comment a little easier, and it's
because I can just pull the plug after 3 minutes.
Yeah, well, no, but I mean it makes we won't get it. We won't get into that. But
no, it should. We're trying to make it as painless as possible, and I know it's going to be different. It's going to probably have some glitches. Who knows with the way technology goes? But we're doing our best to make sure that it goes off without a hitch. And like I said, if you have something to say, please stay at home and say it over our phone line or the internet connection.
There you go, and it worked. In fact, we advised the county commission when we aired that one meeting. We said, we are airing you live on the Nevada network, and I saw a couple of people's hair stand on end, even though the video was bad.
Sure.
But they stood that bad. Okay. We want to touch on, I guess, the most important thing right now is for folks, we want to ask you once again, rumors get started. Other news media gets stories wrong. Mm-hmm. And we reported it not unlike the KSNV report. We went to the source. They gave us the same information, but again, they didn't give us all the information. And as I understood it, they didn't have all the information at the time. I had to call the warden for the complete information there, and that's this is a learning experience for everybody in the state. I wish it went smoother all the way around, but we just have this. Yeah, well, and you got to remember, I've been doing this for 45 years now.
Yeah.
And even occasionally, a source gives incorrect or incomplete information, and that's what this was.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure people understand. One case in White Pine County, and that case has been contained. So there are no issues to deal with except just the usual preventative measures.
And those are the best things you can do for yourself.
Yeah, the car count is down coming through here. But I still see them. In fact, the other day I saw a couple of people get out of a vehicle, put on masks, and go to walk into McDonald's. Mm-hmm. And they couldn't go into McDonald's.
Right.
So
it's a learning experience for us all. Even at the grocery store in the morning, I've got some snowbirds that are coming through, and they're on their way back home or trying to get there from Arizona.
And they want to know where can they go have a good sit-down breakfast. Says, no, you can't.
I haven't had anybody ask me that yet, but they do pick up some groceries.
But this is what these people had been driven a long way, and they put their figuring they could go in, get their mask, sit down, and eat.
You got to go through the drive-thru.
And no, you gotta sit and eat in your car.
Yep.
And it's if you that's one of the reasons why traveling right now is not a good idea. Not just the contagions out there, but
anything
it's very inconvenient.
Anything you can do to mitigate your exposure. So stay home, cancel non-essential travel, wash your hands,
and don't
do what you need to do.
And don't go to Las Vegas unless you absolutely have to. Right. And I don't think you want to right now because that is where the bulk of the state's contagions are, the bulk of the state's death.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be there anyway. Although they do say that the air is clearer.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, it's much, much clearer. So how is your training as a checker 4th class going?
Still going. I get tomorrow off, so I'll be back at it Thursday and Saturday.
So you can study some
That's
more.
Right. I'll go over my operator's manual.
Ely Mayor Nathan Robertson, who like many people, are volunteer that 6 to 7 hour to go up to Ridley's and help the seniors get their groceries at a time when there are less people around and less traffic, and it's a lot easier for them and exposes them to a whole lot less.
Yeah.
And are the seniors adjusting to social distancing?
They are.
They are. Good thing. If you can teach an old dog new tricks, you can do it too. That's
very true.
The important thing. We will be back tomorrow at this same time with more information from Ely Mayor Nathan Robertson. And your questions always welcome, nevadatalknet@gmail.com, or through our Facebook page, facebook.com/Nevada Talk Network. We'll talk to you in the morning at 7, bright and early.